The hardest thing for me to do is sit and wait for people to join. But it's all good. All right, so I'm gonna give it about 2 more minutes here, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Okay. All right. So in the midst of those 2 minutes, I'm going to give you all a quick breakdown of what I'll be talking about today. Today I'll be talking about um, living with chronic pain. And there's a lot of my brothers and sisters out there that are suffering with chronic pain. Um, it is something that I thought I would never have. I knew as I got older, things would start to, come down and whatnot. But it's something that I thought I would never have until I got hurt 5 years on the job, 5 years ago on the job. And I cracked my hip, and I hurt my back, and I've been out of commission since. And I am now suffering. I'm now suffering with chronic pain. And it's funny to me now, but when all this first started, um, I didn't know what to do. Um, I almost drove myself crazy trying to place the blame on myself, and I didn't have anybody to talk to or confide in. At least that's what I felt until I started seeing a therapist. Because y'all, it really did a number on my mental. Going through pain, going through surgeries, going through more pain, and then going through endless therapy. Um, it's nothing to be laughed at. Hello, hello. It's nothing to be laughed at. So it's really a issue, a condition that a lot of us can really do nothing about, but make the best of it. And when I talk to my therapist and my physician, they really help me to make it better for myself. Okay, they give me resources, they give me information to help make it better for myself, and that's what I'm here to do today. Is talk about this a little bit and hopefully give some insight on some natural ways that you can relieve pain. Okay, all right. So I've talked enough. Let me go ahead and get started here. I don't want to be before you too long. Okay. Let me re-greet everybody. Hope everybody's well. I hope everybody's had a good day. And welcome to Mental Health Monday. Today's topic is living with chronic pain. Okay. Now, let me be perfectly clear as I step out and speak for all of us who are suffering with chronic pain. Chronic pain is both visible and invisible. Okay. There are days when there's a little bit of pain, but it's most days where there's a lot of pain. Okay. So never assume about someone who who may get out their car and look to be walking okay. Don't judge and don't assume, because you don't know that person's you don't know that person's story. A lot of us have a story where we're going through chronic pain, but you can't see it. You know, I'm not necessarily on a cane sometimes. Sometimes I'm walking okay, sometimes I'm not. And I'm speaking out for everybody, because a lot of us that suffer with chronic pain, we have those days, And then there's a lot of us where chronic pain it affects us so bad, it condemns us to the house. It confines us to the house. So um, the impact it has on our lives can be horrific if we don't actively search for ways to work through it. Okay. Um, I've learned that it only feels like there's no cure for chronic pain. I sincerely feel that way. I do, because some mornings I get up, I sit up in the bed, and I sit on the edge of the bed for at least 30, maybe 35 minutes, trying to get it together so I can get up, go use the bathroom, brush my teeth. Okay. So, um, what I have definitely learned is that there's no off days from chronic pain. Um, we just make the best of what we call good days. Okay. Now, in my research, I have found the following, and I like to share it with you. Now, before I share that with you, um, please, I want to make sure that you check in with your physician as you do your research on these things that I'm going to tell you about as far as natural remedies. All right. Check in with your physician about them and then go from there. Okay. All right. So, key natural pain remedies. All right. Um, Teramic. Teramic can be bought in a powder, or it can be bought in a pre-made tea form. But you have to make sure that you are going with brands um, that are using um, good herb. Okay, because some of these brand name teas and some of these brand name herb stores, they're watering down the herbs that they sell. Okay, so just check for quality. All right, read your nutritional packs before you buy them. I say it's safer to get your herbs from an herb store, because you can consult with the herb store, and they have herb books, they have herb manuals, and you can do your research that way, or you can Google online and Google whatever herb that you're looking for, and then go to the herb store. Okay. All right. So Teramic is a powerful inflammatory, best taken with black pepper for absorption. Now, if you find that black pepper messes with your esophagus, um, I also take a cayenne pepper, um, and it messes with my throat, something awful. So what I started doing was putting my herbs in a shake or smoothie or tea. Okay, a shake, smoothie, or tea. All right, and that has been more beneficial for me, and it cut down on the acid reflux in reference to the pepper. Okay. All right. Heat and ice therapy. Okay. Um, Use ice for swelling, like in reference to an injury, and use heat for stiffness in reference to arthritis. Okay. The herb ginger. I drink a lot of ginger tea, and it contains a compound that reduces inflammation and can be used in your teas or your meals. I use I use the powder in a tea or a shake or a smoothie. Okay, and putting it in something like a shake or a smoothie does not dub the benefits down. It does not dub the benefits down. It actually boosts the benefits. Okay, because you have other nutrients in the protein shake, and you have other nutrients in the smoothie. Okay. All right. Willow bark. Now, willow bark is not one of the herbs that I have used, but I've heard that it's very good. Now, willow bark contains salicin, okay, which acts similarly to aspirin for back and joint pain, okay. You can find that at your herbal store. You can Google it, and then go to your herbal store and ask if they have some willow bark, okay. And like I said, you know, a lot of your herbs you can do in teas, shakes, or smoothies, okay. All right, acupuncture and massage. Okay, gonna talk a little bit about acupuncture. Okay, first and foremost, I hate needles. I I simply hate needles. I was at the VA a couple of weeks ago and I had to get my blood drawn. And every time I go and get my blood drawn, I say to the technician, "Ma'am, I hate needles." And she said, "But you look." I said, "Ma'am," I said, "I hate needles." She said, "I understand." She said, "Well, baby, look that way." That's what the last technician said. Look that way, you won't be scared of them. But I have found that acupuncture is actually really, really good for you. Okay, it's been a major game changer for me because um, there's different types of acupunctures that they can do. Okay, so when I went in and I told my acupuncturist that I got hurt at work and I'm having problems with my back and I'm having problems with my hip, he went to work. So he put the needles where they needed to be, and he put on some I don't know, some Szechuan music. I don't know. He put on some light music and turned the lights out, put the heat lamp on my back, and turned the what they call a tinge unit. It's a tinge unit that they turn on, and let me tell you, each and every session I leave out of there and I'm sleepy. I'm sleepy and I'm relaxed. I'm no longer in pain. It totally dissipates the pain when I take acupuncture. Okay. So if you feel like that might be something for you, but you have a problem with issues, but you have a problem with needles, have that long talk with yourself and go ahead and benefit from acupuncture because it's really good. It's really good, and especially when you have somebody who knows what they're doing. My doctor is Dr. Yao, Dr. Yao at Dr. Yee's Acupuncture in Augusta, Georgia, and he really, really, really does a good job. Okay. Now, as far as massages are exceptional anytime. Okay, but especially if you have a condition, a issue with chronic pain. Okay, um, getting massages, and I try and get a massage at least once a month or twice a month. Okay, and getting a massage, it's not expensive at all. It'll run anywhere from $50 to $60. Okay, some places might charge 70 to 80, but the benefits are tremendous. And they also have different types of massages that they can apply, to whatever you're going through. Okay. All right. So essential oils. Essential oils. I have learned more about essential oils within the last 2 years um, than I'll ever know, because um, beforehand I didn't know anything about essential oils. Okay, I didn't know about topical essential oils. I didn't know about um, oils for a diffuser. I kind of knew what a diffuser was, and I said, diffuser, that's something. That's just something bougie. That's something for fragrance, but it's not. Um, a diffuser can change your whole atmosphere of your house, and it can turn it into a healing platform, depending on what essential oil you use. Okay, So the essential oils that I mainly use are peppermint for headaches, lavender for stress-related pain, and eucalyptus for joint pain. Now, there's many other essential oils, that have the same purposes, but those are the three main ones that I use. And I use them as a topical, and I use the ones that go in the diffuser. Okay. All right. The herb Boswellia. The herb Boswellia. Boswellia is an Indian frankincense that I used every so often. It's used to treat inflammatory conditions like arthritis. Okay. So when I found out that I now, have arthritis in my hip, when I came across Boswellia, I didn't know what it was. So I did some research, and I went and got some, and I started putting it in the tea, and it has been very beneficial for me. Okay. And again, the name of that herb is Boswellia. It's an Indian frankincense that's used to treat inflammatory conditions like arthritis. Okay. Do your own research and consult your physician. Okay. All right. Some common uses of natural pain relief. All right. For arthritis, turmeric, ginger, and fish oil. I think fish oil can be bought in a liquid form or either bought in a tablet form. Okay. I do my best to do the tablet, because fish oil is just nasty. It's got a lot of benefits to it, but fish oil is just nasty. The turmeric and ginger, I either get them in a powder or buy them in a tea, or use the powder in a tea. Okay. And they've been a very, very beneficial as far as relieving arthritic pain. Okay. Now, muscle and back pain, I use turmeric tea. I get massages. I get acupunctures, and I use heat packs like most of us do. Okay. And for headaches, I used to have a lot of migraines, but as I got older, they started dissipate. Now I just have, like regular headaches. But I use a topical herb called peppermint, and I apply it to my temple. Okay. And, I'll put a cold compress on my head, and it'll help relieve the headache. Okay. Now, I know some of you might say, that's a lot to go through, to relieve some pain. Well, I'm willing to do a lot of natural stuff versus do a whole lot of pill popping. Okay. There's a difference. Okay. All right. So note, always consult your healthcare professional before starting new supplements, because you may have existing conditions that where you're taking other medications for, and you don't want to have a side effect, because of it. Okay. The whole idea, my final comment here, the whole idea is to relieve pain naturally, but if it's something that you've never done before, it's something that you have to work up to. Okay. All right. If you found this helpful, please leave a comment, like, subscribe, and share. And share with someone who you think needs it. Okay. Now, this will also be available on my YouTube page, Clinton Wilder Positive Living. And there's nothing to sell. There's nothing to buy. It's just a feel-good page with good vibes for everybody. Okay. However, I do need your help for this month. Each month I have a goal where I try and get 10 more subscribers. So if you visit my page, check it out, see what you like, see what you love, and then hit that subscribe button and share it with somebody, I greatly appreciate it. All right. As always, I appreciate your viewership, and I appreciate your support. Many blessings to everybody. Have a great night and a better day tomorrow. Bye-bye.